In March alone, over 100 persons have been killed in the armed conflict in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon and the Equinoxe region, where terrorists Boko Haram are fighting with the government of Cameroon or the state of Cameroon. These are figures from Monde Avenue and Stand Up for Cameroon. Meantime, civil servants have escaped from Andek subdivision of the Momo in the northwest region of Cameroon as a result of insecurity created by the armed conflict rocking the northwest and southwest regions for several years now. In the conflict-hit southwest region of Cameroon, elements of the Rapid Intervention Battalion have gone to rehabilitate bridges destroyed in the heart of the conflict in the Manu division of the southwest region. Also in this edition, which I'll be taking you to another conflict-stricken locality, it is the Indian division of the southwest region of Cameroon. These stories and more will be yours in this edition of the news. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for trusting Equinoxe Television. You're on to the primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our central news desk in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Thanks for trusting Equinoxe. Thanks for joining us. We are 6 p.m. and it is the same time in Abuja in the neighboring Federal Republic of Nigeria, same time in Bangui in the Central African Republic. We begin with the figures released by rights groups and non-governmental organizations in Cameroon. Their March report on the situation in conflict-stricken regions of Cameroon says over 100 persons have been killed in the month of March alone in the northwest, the southwest, and the far north regions of Cameroon that are suffering the effects of armed conflict. In the two Anglophone regions, it is known as the Anglophone crisis, and in the far north region, the state of Cameroon is fighting with a group of terrorists under the name Boko Haram. Details with Charles Ekome in the following report. We shall be coming back to that report compiled by Charles Ekome on the reports of Monde Avenue and Stand Up for Cameroon, as well as other non-governmental organizations and right groups in Cameroon. Meantime, we take you to the Far North region, where some 52 Boko Haram fighters have deposited their weapons. They are 55 in number, 55 Boko Haram terrorists who are said to have dropped their weapons at the Mary Didier Center in the Far North region of Cameroon. Sources say they were transit to the center by the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Commission at Mary on April the 7, 2021. The surrendered fighters included some 32 fighters who are women, and that is children fighters or child soldiers, as you can put it. 32 in number, 11 women and 12 men. They all were fighting with Boko Haram against Cameroon. The state media in Cameroon reported that the fighters have expressed regrets for all atrocities committed while fighting for Boko Haram against the state of Cameroon. The head of the Didier Center in Meri in the Diamari division of the Far North region of Cameroon, Omar Bashi, says the repentant Boko Haram fighters are as a result of a series of civil-military actions carried out by the multinational Joint Task Force against Boko Haram. The multinational Joint Task Force against Boko Haram is made up of soldiers from Cameroon, Chad, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and Niger. And now we take you to talk to the conflict-hit southwest region of Cameroon to talk about the activities of elements of the Rapid Intervention Battalion that is in the conflict, in the heart of the conflict in the Anglophone regions of Cameroon. Elements of the Military Engineering Corps, some of them from the detachment of the Rapid Intervention Battalion, have rehabilitated some 3 bridges in some localities of the southwest region. The 3 bridges, according to local sources, are rehabilitated at Keshem, a village in Mamfe Center of the Manu division of the southwest region of Cameroon. The soldiers say the bridges were destroyed by separatist fighters cutting off Keshem and other localities of Mamfe subdivision from the rest of Memphis subdivision, the entire Manu division, and the southwest region of Cameroon. And I will take you to the Indian division of the southwest region, where the divisional officer for the Indian division says COVID-19 is being handled at their level in that parts of the region, but however expressed worries that some members of the locality in most parts have not been contributing enough to fight COVID-19. The duo, Fowang Lawrence, speaking to our correspondent in Boya in the southwest region, indicated that they have successfully contained COVID-19 as just 2 persons have been killed so far since the outbreak of the second wave of COVID-19 in the Indian division. Derek Jato has more in the following report.
Indian division and the COVID-19 pandemic.
Due to our rigorous management, we have registered 2 deaths. 2 deaths to us is so many.
It was the wish of this division here in the southwest region to register 0 deaths. But unfortunately, 2 lives were lost to COVID. But observers say this division is rather fortunate, for there are very little signs to indicate that Indian division can fight back the pandemic in any way.
I want to say that in some subdivisions, like Idabatu, Kumbo Itindi, Toko, Kumbo Abedimu, and Bamuso, there are no health personnel. So you imagine an instant where there is an overwhelming breakout of COVID-19. It means that all of this population will perish.
And Fowang Lawrence, the senior divisional officer for the said division, is also having tough times with some of his collaborators. What was supposed to be a coordinated campaign against COVID-19 is now failing.
How come that only the DOs are championing the implementation of government measures against the COVID? Meanwhile, the mayors who understand the dialect, who understand their people, have absconded. And in the days ahead, I'm going to institute, or I'm going to commence necessary administrative procedure to destitute him.
There are 9 councils in Indian division, and reports say some of the mayors have disappeared, and so too the funds that were made available to combat the campaign against COVID-19.
Some of these mayors have absconded their municipalities. So you ask me the question where they are using the funds.
The chief executive officer is now turning to other elite of his division to think about their loved ones back home.
This gives me an opportunity to call on the elites of India, the elites of India, to come to the assistance of the population of India who are home-based, knowing fully well that this population are financially handicapped due to the socio-political crisis rocking the southwest and the northwest region.
This oil-rich Indian division remains one of the primary sources of revenue.
Derek Jato reporting from the southwest region of Cameroon. We need to remind you of some of the interesting stories you'll be following up in the course of this newscast. We shall be taking you towards the end of the news to Chad, that is in N'Djamena in Chad, where candidates ahead of Sunday's presidential election in Chad are set to be canvassing for last-minute votes in the country's political capital city, N'Djamena, Chad. Our special envoy Babla Jonathan will be telling us more towards the end of this news. And also in foreign news, we shall be talking about the death of the husband of Queen Elizabeth. But now we take you to one of our top stories. We indicated that a report from Stand Up for Cameroon, among the Avenue and some non-governmental organizations and rights groups in Cameroon have published a report indicating that some 100 persons died in Cameroon who were killed in the armed conflict in the northwest and southwest regions, and also in the far north region where Boko Haram is fighting with the state of Cameroon. The report for the month of March was published in Douala today during a meeting attended by our reporter Charles Ekome.
According to the March 2021 reports of some rights groups in Cameroon, Among Avenue and Stand Up for Cameroon, among others, 100 people died as a result of the armed conflicts in the Anglophone regions and the Boko Haram terrorist attacks in the far north and north regions of the country, says Edith Kawala, founder of the Cameroon People's Party and a pioneer member of Stand Up for Cameroon.
The Stand Up for Cameroon monthly reports have become a really great source of information. They permit us to know the real situation on the ground in the country. They permit us to know how things like deaths are evolving. We see from the reports that in January we had 59, in February we had 43. But in March, we are back up to 100, more than double. And most of these deaths are now happening in the extreme north. The number of deaths in the extreme north multiplied by 4 times between February and March.
The report also states that there were a total of 4 kidnappings, throwing light on the kidnapping of young journalist Bunui Aise of the CRTV, who was kidnapped on the 13th of March by unknown individuals. Furthermore, the violations of human rights amounts to 21 cases. Some peculiar cases were cited whereby a group of activists by names Etienne Sama, Mira Angung, Musa Bello, Collins Nana, and Chelo Mimbu are currently serving time in state prisons for protesting. According to the NGOs, it is their fundamental rights to protest and stand up against the ills in society, an act which is stated by law, but is now being violated by law enforcers. Moreover, the report also constitutes of the violations of prisoners' rights. The case of Amadou Vamulke, journalist and former Director General of the CRTV, who has been incarcerated in the Kondegi Central Prison, has been subject of more than 60 referrals in an open letter addressed to the head of state on the overcrowding of prisons, which has led to the poor health of prisoners vis-a-vis the COVID-19 pandemic, a situation which has drawn the attention of national and international opinion This particular session of the monthly showcase of reports by these NGOs welcomed the presence of the Canadian High Commissioner to Cameroon, whose role in the fight against the several problems in Cameroon is clearly stated by Mercy Lemnui, another pioneer member of Stand Up for Cameroon.
The Canadian High Commissioner actually is one of the organizations that stands against the violation of human rights, and seeing what is happening on our national territory, they are assisting us to ensure that we are able to come out with credible information that will be recognized, that will be accepted by every other organization. So that is the role of the Canadian High Commission, Stand Up for Cameroon. They are really assisting us in all aspects.
Given that the situation in Cameroon is worsened by the day, these organizations noted down some key points for the populace to note. They consist of tensions between the Bar Association and the government, the situation of the CRM political party activists incarcerated on the 22nd of September 2020, the situation of 4 militants of Stand Up for Cameroon movement who have been incarcerated as well, the massacres of students in Kumba, those missing in the Boko Haram conflicts in the northern territory of the country. All these points enumerated closes down to one fact: what is the government doing to remedy the situation in the country?
And the conflicts in the regions have not only seen loss in lives, but has caused some persons to abandon work. A case in point is Andek subdivision in the Momo division of the Northwest region, where some civil servants are said to have abandoned service in Andek subdivision, staying away from the subdivision but consuming running credit meant for the subdivision. This is the way the mayor for Andek subdivision, Umbaku Hele, described civil servants talking. That is when he was speaking to our Northwest regional correspondent Mbu Stella. The mayor is angry and says those who do not want to work in Andek should not collect running credit and salary meant for workers who are based in Andek. Her report.
Office in 2021, a sign no school activity has taken place here since the crisis escalated into an armed conflict. At the SAR SM, like the government high school in Andek subdivision, office documents are looted, furnitures broken, and machines destroyed. About 90% of administrative services have been abandoned by the respective service heads. They, according to the mayor, blame their absenteeism on the uncertain security climate in the area. A claim the mayor of Andek debunks, asking runaway service heads to either return or resign.
The heads of services that have been deployed to serve my people in Andek municipality, in the subdivision, in the large majority, about 99% of them, have abandoned their offices. And the irony is that they are the first people to run around and want to liquidate the projects or the credits that have been sent for them to use here in Andek. But I believe you, I think that they should resign.
Normal life has been interrupted in Andek by what is known as the Anglophone crisis. This has left many stranded in their communities.
I am so particular about the school sector, school and health sectors. Well, those are social sectors. And you will not imagine that just yesterday we had 2 serious cases here, 2 health serious cases that had to go to Bamenda because of the absence of a medical doctor.
The mayor says security has been stepped up, and aside the tragic attack on the convoy of the senior divisional officer from Momo on January 5th, no gunshot has been heard in Gi. He also says the town is safe and the fleeing population can now return and regain normal lives in their communities. But those who spoke to Equinoxe Television on the basis of anonymity say their challenge for now is the road leading to Gi from Bangui.
Bustela reporting, and now we stay in the Anglophone regions, but this time around in the southwest, to say that some 53 advocates are all from foreign law schools were sworn into the Cameroon Bar Association. The question on that is the question on irregularities on the parts of the government of Cameroon was raised, and some senior lawyers challenged the Minister of Justice in Cameroon to respect the law. Derek Jato tells us more from the southwest.
This traditional oath-taking ceremony is a witness testifying the confirmation of this advocate into the Cameroon Bar Association. And Barrister Eno Benjamin, the bar president representative in the Southwest region, has their academic background.
This particular set of lawyers, 48 of them came from the Nigerian Bar Association. I think 2 or 3 are from the Sierra Leonean Bar, and we have 1 from Gambia.
53 and all from foreign law schools. Some senior counsels in their submission revealed that the law is being violated by the Cameroon government in this domain.
It is worrisome for us because, as I said before, the Bar Council would love to have examinations organized according to the law annually.
It's worse than worrying that we spend years. The law says we're supposed to organize exams every year. We've passed years without organizing because either the means is not there, or we want to limit the number of the people who are going in. But when they cross the borders, they go out, they spend 2 years, they come back. That same law obliges us to swear them in.
They are here now and legally equipped to swing into action in a challenging society. But they must note.
You know what lawyers do? You take care of the weak. You work against the strong, because the strong will always want to smash the weak. In the case of the government and the society, the excesses of the government should be checked by lawyers.
What we lack today as value in the Bar Council is the inability to speak truth to power, the inability to be proactive in ways that protect the interests of lawyers. These are issues that I intend to address as an influential member of the Bar Council.
And present was Barrister Claire Tangana, president of the Cameroon Bar Association, who drew the attention of these fresh legs into the bar. That good reputation is earned, not given.
A lawyer is a lot of work. Morning, noon, evening, you have to work to have success. It's not given.
And before their friends, family members, and the authority, these newly sworn-in advocates registered their readiness
I wish to render justice and to assist the court and make it possible that justice be rendered to patriotic Cameroonians who are faced with various difficulties.
This April 7, 2021 ceremony took place in strict respect of the COVID-19 measures, as even the test against the pandemic was seen carried out at the explanade of the Buea Court of Appeal. The legal minds say they don't only want a just society, but a healthy one too.
Some 3 tankers have been intercepted by security forces in the West Regional Chieftain of Bafoussam. According to security sources, the owners of the tankers were caught in an illegal process manipulating petroleum products, as Matt Njikangebre tells us in the following report.
From a distance, one will think this is a parking lot for fuel tankers in Bafoussam, West Region of Cameroon. Getting closer to the fuel tankers, it is clear that both are doing exchange of their products. It is the brigade in charge of fuel products in the Ministry of Water and Energy Resources that caught the 2 fuel tankers. According to Nazer Aimé, member of the brigade, one of the tankers had just collected fuel from the fuel depot in Bafoussam. Instead of distributing to filling stations, its first stopover was at this mechanic workshop at Fengoudron, Tepe Okwatas in Bafoussam, where it is collecting another product to mix with its original fuel before going to share. The capture of these 2 tankers falls in line with the ongoing fight against illicit sale of petroleum products along the roads. The drivers of the 2 tankers escaped, leaving their vehicles behind.
And we'll take you to information out of Cameroon before taking you to the Sunday's presidential election in Chad, where we have a special envoy, Babila Jonathan. We take you first to the United Kingdom to say that Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, has died at the age of 99, whose image you can see on your screen. A statement from the Buckingham Palace read, it is with deep sorrow that Her Majesty the Queen of England announced the death of her husband, His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. His Royal Highness passed away peacefully this morning at Windsor Castle. The Duke was married to Queen Elizabeth II for over 70 years and has become the longest-serving consort in the history of Britain. And back to Africa, candidates for Sunday's presidential election in the neighboring Republic of Chad are rounding up campaigns. They have been crisscrossing the country, especially the political capital city in N'Djamena, canvassing for last-minute votes. Our special envoy to the presidential election in Chad is Babila Jonathan, who is on the way to N'Djamena. Babila Jonathan, good evening.
Last-minute campaigns are at the peak here in N'Djamena, the capital of Chad, ahead of Sunday's presidential elections. All around me here are militants, supporters, sympathizers of incumbent Idriss Déby Itno, who is seeking a 6th term in office. And I'm now going to talk to some of them who are here to get their idea, their opinions about these campaigns. Qu'est-ce que vous pensez par rapport à cette élection présidentielle de dimanche? Vous supportez bien sûr le président Idriss Déby Itno.
Bon, d'abord, je m'appelle Bemadita Aristide. Le président Idriss Déby, il est le bon président. Il a beaucoup fait pour la nation tchadienne. Il a lutté contre le terrorisme et bon, aujourd'hui nous sommes sortis maximum pour le soutenir. Il est notre candidat et nous serons derrière lui pour ça.
He says incumbent Idris Deby Itno has done a lot for his country, notably in the fight against terrorism and other areas of national life here in Chad. And we're going to talk to yet another militant, another supporter of incumbent Idris Deby Itno.
Ça va passer à 100% et nous voulons que lui reste au pouvoir jusqu'à dernier jour. Seulement que lui, il n'y a pas d'autre personne qui va dire ce Chad là, il y a seulement que lui.
He is very much convinced, 100%, that incumbent Idris Deby Itno will be maintained in power, will win Sunday's presidential election. And that is why they have been standing here waiting for the president in this last campaign meeting of President Idris Deby Itno. And you can see right behind me, the whole place is full. They have all converged here in front of the Ministry of Economy of Chad on the road leading to Stade Idriss Mamakuya, and they are here championing the fight for victory for their candidate Idris Deby Itno, seeking a seat term in office. One of them talking to me now is very convinced. What's your name?
Mon nom c'est Célestin. Je suis le coordonnateur national Étoile d'Or. Coordonnateur national Étoile d'Or. Nous soutenons le maréchal Idriss Deby pour qu'on puisse arriver à la victoire premier tour KO. C'est notre choix préféré. Nous espérons que voilà, nous on va gagner cette élection. Inch'Allah, nous espérons qu'on va gagner ça.
This youth leader says their choice, their best choice is Idris Deby Itno, and they are standing with him to victory. They are moving with him to victory. That's what he just told me now. Idris Deby Itno is already here in Stade Idriss Mamadouya, and thousands of militants of his political party, thousands of supporters and sympathizers, Chadians, young people, women, men, and even children are converged here. The stadium is full beyond capacity, and they are shouting victory onto their candidate, their champion, incumbent Idris Deby Itno. And of course, these are the last campaign moments here in N'Djamena, the capital of Chad. Incumbent President Idris Deby Itno is urging his people to stand for him. He's encouraging them, he's calling upon them to vote for him come Sunday, while the other 6 candidates of the opposition are also rounding up with their campaigns in different parts of the country, moving across the streets of N'Djamena and other parts of the country, canvassing for votes for Sunday's presidential election here in Chad. On special assignment in N'Djamena, we are Mitirandam and Babla Jonathan.
Thanks, Babila Jonathan, on special assignments to N'Djamena, Chad. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up is Talking Point. And apparently we will not be having the jingle for Talking Points. We go straight to our guests on Talking Points today. We are receiving a peace ambassador. We are receiving Tingo Meron. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, Mr. Babila. Greetings to all televiewers.
Can you speak a bit louder, please?
Yeah. Greetings to all televiewers out there. I wish to extend my condolences to the Christian community, to the entire Catholic church family, and for the great loss that we just had, because we just lost a peace icon, an icon of peace, not just for the African, but for the world at large. Christian Cardinal Toumé was somebody we
were you inspired at one point in time by Christian Cardinal Toumé?
Actually, I'm really inspired by him. The entire Peace Academy is inspired by all his works. I can remember the last time he visited Boya, when my director was present there. So he gave words of peace. So we really miss him, and we wish that somebody will come up.
You are one of the peace coordinators of the Northwest Peace Academy, and expressing your worries and condolences after the death of Christian Cardinal Tumi. Now, say he inspired you, but are you kind of disappointed that his All Anglophone General Conference initiative finally did not go through and he had to leave the scene?
Yes, actually, I'm not really disappointed, because at one time God gives somebody to solve a problem.
Okay.
I strongly believe that the people he has inspired so far will be able to take up the lead and will be able to make sure that peace return back to the entire country. Remember, when we talk of peace, we are not only talking about the Anglophone.
We're talking about the Far North region as well. We just had the March report of Emonde Avenue, Stand Up for Cameroon, and other non-governmental organizations in Cameroon, saying that over 100 persons died in the month of March alone in these 3 regions as a result of the armed conflict.
That is true. You know, as a peace ambassador, in my capacity too, as a young peace ambassador, we are working towards attending the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations, which was adopted in 2015. That was the 25th to the 27th. I believe that this is actually what we need. And the Agenda 2036, you see, the Agenda 2063 of the African Union too, which all this agenda focus around the problems we have.
But when they set these agendas, I want to be very particular on the case of the African Union. They say they want peace all over Africa within 20 years, within 10 years, within 5 years. What do they do concretely? Because we understand that Africa is one of the countries hardest hit, and when we are having conflicts like the one in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, we hardly hear the African Union pronouncing or making key decisions, steps and actions vis-a-vis the necessity for the crisis to come to an end.
Yes, Mr. Babilajon, Mr. Armstrong, for me, I want to say that there is a method of asking for something. How do we ask for something? You don't ask for something with arrogance. Remember, there is a way of asking for something peacefully. Remember, the issue has not really been presented. I'm talking about my own opinion. The issue has not been presented because we have to ask it with the humble minds, with free will, peaceful minds, so that these agendas can really come in and help the situation. You cannot present a case before the African Union that is not clear and you expect that results should come. What are you presenting? Secondly, are you presenting something clear?
Now, but I would have loved to ask a lot of questions on the African Union. They are not directly from the AU. You just talked about the African Union, and of course we had to go to that. People are still worried. Do they really need to go ask the African Union to know that there is a problem in an African country and deserves their full attention? We are having people acting, the European Union, far away from Africa, making series of recommendations for the Anglophone crisis to come to. Now, I want to come back to the case of Cameroon. You as a peace ambassador and also an economist, what role can businesses, the economy, play to see a return to normalcy in Cameroon?
Yes, businesses can actually suppress the crisis we have across Cameroon even. Because, I'm talking globally. As a peace ambassador, I'm not talking just about a particular area. I'm talking global peace. I'm talking global economy. Yes. So actually, this is how businesses can help foster peace in the country. Remember that there is a say that a hungry man is an angry man. It is difficult to talk peace with somebody who has not eaten for days. That is very clear. And you can see that even in a Fano, people are surviving because there are business people there who risk on a daily basis. And I want to use this opportunity to thank those people who have not given up in business. Secondly, in the Northwest and the Southwest region, just, I'm also a victim of the crisis too, but I've not given up. They still try to, buy things. Sometimes they create a lot of things to sell, to make sure the economy circulates, people can have something to eat. And this is just part of these agendas we're talking about, because the Africa we want has to do with creating a peaceful society. That's one of the things. But that is not just the only thing. But the agricultural sector was also one of these things. Even the Agenda 2030 of the United Nations was one of these, poverty alleviation, to eliminate poverty and to fight unemployment rate, which is a universal thing that it was adopted by all.
Now, after having spoken globally and tried to indicate that most of the fightings are because people are hungry, now at your own level, what are you doing personally to see a change?
Thank you for that beautiful question once again. What I've done as a peace ambassador, cayenne tea is my product. When I realized that crisis broke out, people were affected with gastritis, hypertension, due to their loss of properties and loved ones, I developed an idea which today thousands of Cameroonians are living freely without gastritis, without hypertension, because of cayenne tea that I produced. And the tea is in the Republic.
Yes.
We have NGOs. I have NGOs that are dealing with the product. We work hand in glove with Noe Farm, which is in Bamenda. It's a renounced NGO, and others.
But those things are not given freely to people. It means that only those who have money can be able to get that. It looks like peace will only remain within a particular class of the society.
No, permit me once more, Mr. Amson Sanda. On the 19th of September 2020 in Boya, in a peace conference, when I launched a free distribution of 100 bottles of cayenne tea, that is one thing I did there. I did not do that because I'm just picking up. I'm a young man, and I have to do that because I needed to support those who came from different places, Monyenge, Moyuka, and the rest, and they are suffering. They have gastritis. They don't even eat the I had to support with 100 bottles, and I think I launched that in the presence of the administrator for Boya. Mr. Abba Abdurrahman was present in that peace conference before the director of Peace Academy, Mr. Bochong Samuel. So that is just my own little contribution. It's about young people taking a decision to be looking for solutions to problems than creating problems. And I am one who follows the idea of somebody like Christian Cardinal. To me, that is why we are we are really feeling the lust.
But I have the impression that since you said people go to fight, people go angry because they are hungry. I have the impression that you chose not to go very angry because you had food to eat, even when you lost your properties and several other things in the southwest region, in Munyenge, sometime as a result of the crisis. Many will argue that some of the persons who are holding arms in the Anglophone regions today are those who have been radicalized because they lost everything.
One thing I want to contribute again, I believe it was in this same platform that I said we need the mindset that we can start it over again. Remember, the youth, some of the youths, if you want to put to the table, what have they lost? Some of them. I'm talking as somebody who has been touched, but I'm peaceful. But I've been able to pick up. I've been able to work out something for others.
Practically, being able to pick up how? Let others know.
Which means I've been able to sit to put down to console myself, because when we talk about the peace we study in Peace Academy first, I will talk about the peace within, because people think that peace is just the absence of war. Peace does not necessarily mean the absence of war, because there is peace within. That peace within is a peace with you, that somebody will stop you from the road and then take something that belongs to you, and you will be able to behave yourself, calm down yourself, and consult. It is that peace within you that is acting to bring you back to that. Remember, permit me to talk about something that happened just on the 7th of this month. A problem I solved under the small and medium-sized promotion agency in Bamenda. I also like to appreciate the regional delegate for acting as a father in that situation, because I sent a young man to him. There was a problem that came out, which could lead to the level of the court. But I had, with a simple message I posted in a group, when I said that we only disagree to agree. I said so, and I told them that I am talking as a peace ambassador. I know what it means to have peace within. And at the end of the day, thank God, I told that young man to do something, which he did that before the regional delegate of Minmesa. He solved the problem. And there was no court issue, there was no prison, and at the end of the day, the young man congratulated me for that. And he told me, I am actually a peace ambassador. So these are the people we want. We have to that's why we need to really practice this peace within. It will act as a defense force. Because sometimes you will be intimidated. Two wrongs will not make a right, will never make a right. Sometimes you can be intimidated based on the fact that you have that peace within you. You'll be able to behave yourself. Permit me 1 minute again to say something.
Yes, just 1 minute.
Yes, remember, I am also one person who was arrested in Banga. Okay. And I was released in the next 10 minutes. And I can testify
you did
that.
Not go radicalized.
Yes,
at one point
I can. Yes,
I feel like no. You need to pay these people
to do something.
Oh yes.
And nothing was taken from me. They released me freely.
All right, Tingo Meron, thanks very much for accepting
you
to be with us. It was interesting chatting with you.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed the second part of news. Thanks very much for your confidence. Still with Equinoxe Television.